Question 666.8.
Woohoo!
Hey!
What are we doing?
You've been bitten by a werewolf.
Nice.
You can choose to remain as a savage beast or allow yourself to be transformed into a vampire. Which would you choose and why?
Oh, whoa. What the fuck? So, basically, is this a... Can we just say... Is this a question between... Would we be seen it would be a werewolf or a vampire? Is this what this is?
Yes.
I'm going vampire because blood is sexy. Just saying.
Fucking werewolf every time.
Really?
I think I would pick werewolf because then you can turn back into a human and eat good food and not have to be tearing meat off the bone of some random animal or sucking blood out of something you don't even know if they have a disease.
Yeah.
And werewolves are powerful and cool and all that shit. They can change whatever they want. They could be human and then change into a werewolf. So I would rather pick that so I could be sneaky on the sly werewolf.
Yeah.
Instead of living forever, sucking fucking blood out of whatever rats or whatever I need to do. No offense, nerdy.
Well, I would do the werewolf just so the first person who tries it can find out that the silver bullet is a myth invented by Hollywood. Because that is not part of ancient lore regarding lycanthropy at all.
No, it's just crosses and garlic, isn't it? Or something like that?
Yeah. Garlic's vampires, but even with a lot of vampire stuff, a lot of that shit is Bram Stoker. You know, a lot of that stuff. I mean, yeah, he might have taken some stuff or whatever from existing legends or whatever, but
all right. The solution to this problem is simple. What you have to do is you have to look at the clothing aesthetics of the two factions. Vampires tend to wear sort of fancy capes and nice cravats and stuff, and they've got a nice black and red color scheme going on. And they sometimes have
another reason not to be a vampire.
Badger is currently turning himself on.
They've got those flicked back hairdos, and they all look kind of fancy. Whereas werewolves tend to look a lot more rustic. They're out in the field and they're wearing a fur thing, and they got
and covered in blood usually.
They got a cape on with that's made out of an entire lion or something like that, and then So now I still can't decide.
Mathpig says clearly I'm a spike. Rage says definitely a vampire. Nothing smells worse than a wet dog.
Vampires are fucking shit and overrated. They really are.
So,
although I blame Twilight for fucking over both vampires and werewolves. So.
And teenage girls.
Yes.
So, how many vampires have we got?
Me? Nobody asked me because nobody.
I bet I'm going to be the only werewolf going here.
B went with werewolf.
Manda.
Why would you go with vampire, Amanda?
Manda.
Yes, honey.
Go ahead and answer.
She named her son Angel. Is that clue enough for you?
I would go with vampire because, at least I'd stay looking like a human. Plus, vampires are way sexier than fucking werewolves. I don't want to be all.
Exactly. And see,
if you're a werewolf, you can change back to a human, and then you're strong and good looking still.
But then
you don't have to suck blood for the rest of your life. That shit gets old. You ever sucked on a penny?
So then you'd be on your period, and you'd be a werewolf, and just be fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to be a werewolf, though. I want to be
raging bitch at this moment. So.
Exactly, you would be like a literal raging bitch about it.
Yes.
Would you transform Angel?
Angel would be a vampire like me.
So that's a yes then.
No, you let him choose. He's almost an adult. He can be a damn werewolf if he wants to.
But I would wait.
She's having no werewolves in the family.
So.
And by the way, Dave, the premise of your original question is wrong because people don't turn into werewolves by being bitten by other werewolves. That's just basically something that was, I think, certain people.
They do in the lore that I am portraying in the question.
That is something that Yeah, that's something of a lore that was stolen from like Hollywood myths about vampires because people were too lazy to come up with anything good for werewolves.
I've been arguing about Star Wars lore for literally decades. I think you've got to give him.
We're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about vampires and werewolves.
Yeah. In Star Wars, when an Imperial, whatever they're called, bites you, do you become one?
No.
Right. So
I don't
which
know
one
what
you
you look like. I might go with the
There are
Imperials.
creatures in Star Wars that you will turn into if they bite you. They're called rock ghouls.
Lovely, don't care. Right. What are you going to be, Badger?
Moving on.
A vampire or a werewolf?
You see, this is a difficult question. I'm still going over the clothing aesthetics.
You were the one that decided that fashion was a waste of
You wear a
time.
blanket.
I didn't say it was a waste of time. I said the fashion industry was a waste of time. I still like wearing clothes I like.
You just want a cape.
Capes are fun.
But either can wear a cape.
No,
It's
Oz
just
never wore a cape.
I've worn a cape. It's overrated.
The werewolf ones tend to have like a fur lining, whereas like a vampire one tends to have like a red interior lining and a black
I don't know where you're getting your werewolf lore from.
Yeah.
Because most werewolf clothes just ends up torn and...
Yeah.
That's why you wear a cape. The neck.
You get choked!
For anyway.
That's why werewolves
Is what I'm
wear
saying.
shitty clothes, because you don't want to keep buying the expensive
wear
stuff. You
a
just
big
buy a cheap
fur-
pair of jeans, a t-shirt from Walmart. You can rip it off and then replace it easily.
You wear a big fur cape with a loose neck clasp so that when you transform, it doesn't strangle you, and then you can just drape it around your shoulders like, haha, I killed this. But if you wear... Okay.
Right, the conversation
I
in the
think
chat. I'll come back to you in a
werewolves don't wear
second.
capes.
You've got
I
another
think I'm
minute to
gonna-
think about it.
I think I'm going to have to go with vampires because I like cravats.
Okay, like cravats. Do you have any cravats?
Thank you. Okay, vampires for him. Moving on.
Right there.
Dave?
Sammy says, who has better sex, vampires or werewolves? Seraphim says, I bet werewolves are rough doing it. Matt Pig says, werewolves clearly prefer doggy. Seraphim screams, I am behaving, which means she isn't.
I'm trying to so hard. I'm trying to behave.
The Rage says, watch True Blood, vamps are beasts in the sack. Sammy says, I have, werewolves are hot though. Werewolves' capes get torn. There you go. Right. Vampires have better sex, I'd be a vampire.
Thank you.
Yeah, but then you have to drink blood for the rest of your life. If you're a werewolf, you can change back to a human, go eat
But
whatever
they
the fuck
like
you
it.
want.
Blood is sexy though. Biting is fun.
I probably have less cravats
Fighting
than
and
Rory, but I
sucking
do
blood
have
is
cravats.
two different things.
You could wear cravats if you're a werewolf.
And also apparently since from that version, vampires are beasts in the sack. I'm all for it.
You can't wear cravats as a werewolf. Your neck expands. You tear all your fancy cravats.
You just take it off before you change, and when you change
Have you
back,
seen
you go
the
back to where you were, you put it back
transformations? You don't
on.
have time for that.
Yeah, you do it an
But they
hour
always
before.
don't transform. Like Oz sits in a cage and takes his clothes off and waits to transform because you know the fucking moon is coming out and it's coming. It's not like it's like, oh, all of a sudden it's dark and there's a full. Why the
You
fuck
still
am I
lose-
yelling?
You still lose control.
I don't know.
You still lose some control of your mental faculties, so it's entirely possible that your clawed feet might tear up your nice cravat as you're leaving wherever you undressed.
Say cravat
So
one
if
more
it's
time,
only-
Badger.
If you don't have control over
Cravat.
it, and you know you're just going to be a werewolf at night, you just put on shitty clothes before that happens. You know when the moon's going to come up. You can Google that shit. It'll tell you what time the moon's coming out.
Because,
Exactly.
I like
Come
to
on
wear
now.
my nice comfortable
Wait.
jackets.
I have to read the chat. Okay.
These are
IQ
18th
says-
century werewolves.
I know.
Just saying.
IQ says it depends on what you're
ahead,
into.
Dave.
A vampire would definitely be more sensual and deeply passionate, whereas if you're into the whole "did I just get hit by a truck" werewolf. Jeff says doggy style is better than a love bite. Music Collector says what biting the neck is sex. Seraphim says, hey, I can do it doggy style as a vampire. Sammy says, as long as I get to have werewolf sex with Taylor Lunter, I'll be a werewolf. Orla screams, I agree, sex, blood and biting.
I can confirm.
Sarah says, best way to pull the hair during and no having to see stupid sex faces. Seraphim, thank you for agreeing with me, Orla. Matt Big says, okay, moving on. Manda's DMs are getting explicit. Right. I don't know what the hell has happened to everybody today.
I don't know.
You should at least be used to
Maybe it's a full moon.
No. Dave, you haven't figured out that your show is kind of foreplay, right? It's been going on for a while.
Again, he should be used to that at least with me around.
Dave, say thank you. It's a compliment. Just saying, that's a compliment.
Nerdy says, vampire or werewolf glory hole, which is better? I'm easy. Don't mind.
Well,
as long as I can pick the hairs out my teeth,
I would say neither one.
No, you'd be.
You want to lose it?
Oh yeah, okay. You see, now that's the way you're thinking about it. Because I was thinking about being on the inside.
Okay, here's how you determine which glory hole is better. Vampires bite enough to pierce and then suck, whereas werewolves tear.
Again, you're thinking about being on the outside, not the inside. Right, moving on.
Because I'm not the sucker, Dave. I don't do that. Of course, I was thinking about that. I'm not a bottom, Dave. I'm not a bottom. I'm sorry. That's how I thought of it.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.